the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is the successor to one of the most beloved RPGs ever. And with me to talk about it, I have Brian Mitsoda and Cara Ellison from Hardsuit Labs. Now, Brian, you were a writer on the very first game, so what does it mean for you to finally get to work on the sequel?
It means that a lot of people have very high expectations, and we have to meet those.
Well, let's take a look at whether you are going to meet them, because we are going to take a look at the world's first gameplay footage.
I guess I have to be the one to tell you. You're dead. You're obviously new to this whole existence, but truth is, most of you types won't even make it a whole year. We have one rule. You don't break the masquerade.
The city. We're all fighting over scraps here.
Welcome to the first day of the rest of your death. Having fun yet?
Guys, what does it mean to be a vampire in this world?
So in the Empire, what it is, it's kind of a darker version of our world, and the vampires kind of need to keep their presence secret from humanity. So the vampires are kind of staying hidden in the shadows while also needing to feed on human beings and kind of manipulating us in order to get blood.
We're talking about feeding on human beings. I'm getting flashbacks to last year's show. Cara, it's not just a case, though, of sucking blood and filling up your health meter, is it? Actually, different types of blood do different things.
That's right. So we have the resonance system, which means that essentially vampires can kind of see the emotional resonance of human beings, like fear or desire, and then they can feed on those people to like feel the same things as human beings do, to feel more kind of alive. And that can give you like extra boost in the game.
And there were some really interesting characters in that trailer as well. What kind of relationships are we going to be forming with them as the player?
Well, very fragile, very volatile relationships, very mature relationships, so it's going to be a fun time.
And one thing that was really intriguing to me when I was learning about this game is you don't just get bitten and turn into Nosferatu, Dracula, or Brad Pitt. And to be honest, I think you should maybe put Brad Pitt into the game, because then I'm definitely playing it. You actually have to adjust to your environment to becoming a vampire, Cara.
That's right. So essentially, in the game, when you were made as a vampire, sort of very young vampire, a lot of other vampires are made at the same time in this thing called the mass embrace. And that means that essentially they're having a less lucky time than you in the world. You're having a relatively good time compared to them because they don't know what they're doing. They're going through vampire puberty on their own. And you might have a family, you might have, say, a wife and children, and you are morally objecting to drinking blood to survive. And so you might have a less good time, let's say, than the player is having. So you can find them throughout the world as well.
And Brian, the first game came out in 2004. You've been waiting 15 years for this. Any pressure?
Yeah, tons of pressure. But yeah, we're going to make it worth it.
Well, you know what? I think there are people around the world watching this, and of course the audience here, and they all can't wait to play this game. Can you wait, guys? There you go. So I think you've convinced everyone here now. When are we going to be able to play the game?
We're going Q1 next year.
Fantastic. And when can we learn more?
Bloodlines2.com.
Thank you so much, Brian and Cara. Good luck. Give it up, guys. Thank you so much. Now, have you ever wanted to play Dwarf Fortress in space? Starmancer is a space station sim from Ominux Games and Chucklefish. After a catastrophe on Earth, humanity has launched a desperate attempt to find refuge among the stars. Your task is to manage a colony capable of sustaining life, crafting components, controlling colonists, and sending out crews to mine asteroids. But when you're living in space, there can be big consequences for even the smallest mistakes. Let's take a look at the brand new gameplay for Starmancer.
Our next guests both started as modders, and now they each independently run their own studio. Let's welcome to the stage, from Tripwire, John Gibson, and from Torn Banner, Steve Piggott.
Hey, Sean.
Now I understand, both of you started as modders, working independently, now running your own studios. Talk to me about the collaboration that you started together.
Yeah, Steve. So we've known the Torn Banner guys for a long time, even giving them some advice.
You go first. It's your chicken.
Not just going and standing in an area and then a bar fills up. You're, like you said, burning houses, killing peasants, you know.
Yeah.
Playing as peasants, getting killed.
It's really about letting the player experience every iconic moment of the era. And on top of that, this time around, we've increased the player count scale to about 2.5 times what the previous game was, the 64 players. And on top of that increased scale, we've added horses, which really allows us to add a lot of drama to the game and bring experiences like two medieval knights in full armor are clashing.
Yeah, and it's very, very fluid and much more accessible than the previous game. And it's, you know, the pace is so much quicker. It was what I really enjoy when I'm playing it.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask about the fluidity, because in a lot of melee combat games, you hit a button and there's like a full animation swing and then you sort of reset. So it's kind of these discrete, funky times. I understand that in Chivalry 2, the swordplay operates differently than that.
Yeah, we kind of think of it like when you're swimming, where you're kind of constantly using both arms at the same time. And a core part of our focus this time around has been making it so that players can fight multiple opponents at the same time.
Like 1-on-3, 1-on-4 situation?
Exactly, because that's fundamentally part of the becoming the ultimate warrior fantasy and achieving glory on the battlefield.
Well, I mean, I do have to ask, I'm talking about swordplay and mastery, but the original Chivalry, I mean, it's kind of like silly fun. Like, how do you balance the mastery with the fun element?
Yeah, our goal has always been to make it so that players can take the game as seriously as they want to and also as silly as they want to. We know that probably about half our audience plays the game drunk, And we love that.
At least half.
Yeah.
That's an important metric to track.
And the game has a huge influence from Monty Python as well. I mean, in the over-the-top voiceovers and the role-playing.
Planet Zoo. From the creators of